I watched my own video before I uploaded it. I want to correct myself. When I was doing the Reiki, I wasn't asking the Creator to use my energy to manipulate or, in a positive way, other people. I was praying that the Creator's perfect energy, that He would use me as a conduit, just let it flow through me into this person to help them. That's what I was saying. So I really was. I'm sure there's no two people on earth that think exactly identically everything about the spiritual and things that they can't understand. So yeah, I just wanted to say that I don't think that I am anything particular. I do have that strong Christian view that I'm nothing and God is everything, which is hey man, I can identify with it. I forgot to tell the earache story. My friend called and said, "Hey, can you come over and do Reiki on my daughter's ear? She has a really bad earache and like nothing's working." I'm like, "Yeah," and that's when I said, "Hey man, I've been drinking." She's like, "Yeah, don't worry about it. It's just a couple blocks away, man. I just drifted over there." And I put I sat in front of her and she's kind of weeping a little bit. Her poor little thing, her ear hurts. She was like 10, well, she's about 11 years old, I think. So I cupped my hand over her ear, and I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm praying quietly to myself, like, please, please, God, please just allow healing energy to just flow through and just, help this poor girl. And as I'm doing this, my thoughts, I'm saying what they didn't teach us in Reiki class was that you will have thoughts, feelings, and ideas about what's going on with this person that you're dealing with. My thoughts were, this girl doesn't want to hear anything. She doesn't want to hear the truth from her parents about what it is that she's doing, rebelling against them or whatever. I could feel that she doesn't want to hear. I don't know how I put it into words back then. I didn't say it in front of her. I called her mom after I left and told her, and she's like, "Well, that makes sense. She don't want to listen to nothing." Because I was like, I didn't want to, I felt bad for her. She was crying, the poor little girl, her ear hurt, I understand the pain, and I was just like, but it was the feedback that I got, which is what I guess I call it, was this kid don't want to hear it. So her ear hurts, But within a few hours, it was resolved. I was like, really, I talked to her the next day. She's like, "Oh, it worked. It's gone now." And I'm just like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I had good results. Sometimes I didn't. And then I would just think to myself, it's just love. Love is healing these people. I'm loving them. I remember going to the hospital one time and seeing this guy. They're like, "He's on his deathbed. He's on his deathbed." Well, he wasn't. I remember it was snowing. I remember snow falling outside of the window, and he was unconscious, and I had my hands on his legs, and I'm doing my pray Reiki. I'm doing my personal Reiki on this guy. And he came around, and he's like, "Now you're going to have to put up with me. It's all your fault. You're going to have to put up with me for longer." It was a friend of mine's dad who was really nutty. And he did live for, I'm not saying I healed this guy. I have no idea what happened. But he's like, "It's your fault that I got better." And he wasn't even waking up until I came around. I went in another time to a hospice where a very close friend of Lenny's was lying in the bed and was unconscious because they had knocked him out. They're like, "Oh, he hadn't been roused for several hours. This is the end. He's not going to come to." And I sat on the floor and I put my palm of my hands against the palms or the undersoles of his feet. And I, as much as I knew, I pushed as hard as I could my energy. And please, because Lenny wanted to talk to this guy. The dude woke up. Everybody was in shock. And I'm like, look, I'm no magic. I'm not no magician or anything. I'm just trying to, I believe that God wants Lenny to talk to this guy. And, well, it worked. And he came to for a while. He talked to us a little bit. And I said, we were goofing off with him. And I said, "What can I do for you, Si?" And he said, "Kiss me." So I kissed his lips. And I said, "What now?" And he says, "Do it again." So I kissed him again. And we all laughed and cried. Because he always said, "Lenny, your wife is so, she's so beautiful. She's so this." I'm just like, what? But it was just because I was just a real wild child, and he was a real computer geeky kind of guy. And somehow these types of people end up together. Opposites attract, they say. But he always thought I was cute, and it was just like, "Just kiss me." And there's nothing wrong, and there was nothing ugly or twisted about it. I didn't make out with the dude. But just it was very loving and very sweet, and it really pissed off his cousin, who was a mean, horrible person. Ugh. Anyway, he shouldn't have been. He shoved him down in the bed later when he wanted to get up and go outside and look at the snow. He just wanted to put his robe on, and he was nude under the sheet. And his cousin, when he stood up, the sigh, he was supposed to be dying. He's like, I got to go outside and see the snow. Look, the dude's dying. Can't he just put his robe on and walk outside for 3 seconds? The door was pretty close by. No, they shoved him down in the bed, called the nurse to medicate him down, and that was the end. And he went unconscious after that. We were very upset over it. But energy healing, it is real. Energy work is real. I mean, as I started talking about it, I started having these memories of different experiences I had, I was making this video to talk about the ear story, and I wound up thinking about Cy, or Lenny's friend who had died, and that experience. I also saw my ex-mother-in-law in the hospital before she died. I took my daughter down. We were driving in Cy's car. Cy left my husband his little VW Bug, and we were driving it around the Beltway and went to see my daughter's grandmother on her paternal side. She was not well. She was dying, and I remember her just being just kind of in despair. Help me, help me. We got to the room, and I said, I just decided I was going to do it. I sat on a chair and put my hands on the palms of her, or the soles of her feet, and I just tried to press energy into her, and she was able to have a nice conversation with my daughter, and we made peace, because things had been, like, strained, because I had, me and her son had gotten divorced, but I always tried to be cool with her, and always had the kids visiting her, she lived near me when their dad moved away. He was in the Army, so I always kept them in touch and kept them involved, but it was nice. We made peace right then and there. I mean, it's not that we had any violent problems with each other. It was just, but it just felt like everything, everything was cool. She was just like, I can't remember. I feel like she said thank you, or I can't remember exactly. It was a while ago, but these experiences are real, and but beware, because people are very evil, and they are out to use these methods to manipulate you. And I'm interested now in looking into it again, to use this method to help others. But I just really think it's about loving energy and love. But evil can be disguised as love, so be real careful with that. I thought this was going to be a 2-minute video. I apologize. Look for you in the funny papers. That's what they say, right? I'll see you in the funny papers.